client of the day. Hello, I'm calling from the work department. How are you today? Good, that's good to hear. I'm calling because you recently requested to fill out a capability for work form over the phone. Is that correct? Brilliant. Are you free to complete this with me now? Okay, that is great. So let me just pull up the file. I've lost my mouse, so I'm actually just having to use my screen here. That's fine. Okay, I've got a cup of coffee with me here. So don't mind me just taking sips throughout. If you want to go make yourself a drink or a snack before we get started, that's fine. You're okay. Okay, perfect. So we've got a series of questions. I am going to read the questions out to you and I will be typing them out. If you have any questions at all throughout or would like me to explain any of the questions further, just stop me and let me know, okay? That's absolutely fine. So the first section is going to be all about you, just the basics, okay? So could you please tell me your first name? Okay, lovely. And do you have any middle names? Okay. Your last name, please. Your NI number? No, that's fine if you need to go grab it. That's fine. Okay. Lovely. Your date of birth, please. Okay. What is your address? And the postcode? What is your mobile telephone number? Okay. Your email address? Okay. Are you pregnant? Okay. Have you been in hospital for over 28 days in the last 12 months? Okay, and what date was that? And what was the name of the hospital? Okay. Let's go on to the next one. Have you served in the armed forces? Okay. Have you been released from prison in the last 6 months? Okay. And what date did you leave? Okay. No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't be a bother. That's fine. Are you filling out this questionnaire on behalf of someone else? Lovely. The next series of questions are about your GP, your doctor's surgery. Okay. What is your GP's name? And do you know their phone number? That's okay, we can figure that out through the address. That's absolutely fine. Do you know their address? Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. We can figure that out. No problem at all. Just trying to see if the next bit will be relevant to you. This bit is about other healthcare professionals, carers, or friends or relatives who know the most about your disability or health condition. Okay, so for example, this could be a consultant or a specialist doctor, a psychiatrist, a specialist nurse, a physiotherapist, occupational therapist, social worker, support worker, personal assistant, or carer. Yeah, okay. And what's their name, please? And their job title? What is their address? And their phone number? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no problem. I'm ready. Lovely. So, the next part of the form is about sharing information about your health condition. I will have to print this out to send it to you because we do need a signature. But once we do the rest of the form, I'll go through that with you as well, okay? So we might need more information about your health condition and how it affects your ability to work. So this form was just going to ask if you give consent for your doctor or other relevant professionals to give us more information about your health condition. So when you receive this in the post, you can check, there's a box, you can check yes or no, okay, and then there'll be, yeah, that's absolutely fine. There'll be a little box then at the bottom for you to just sign and date, okay? We use this information to process your claim and make a decision on your claim. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. The next section is about cancer treatment. If your cancer treatment is affecting you and you have no other health conditions, you do not have to answer all the questions on this questionnaire. Okay, have you been diagnosed with cancer? Okay, let's just move on to the next one. So the next section is about your disabilities or health conditions. We will ask you specific questions about your disability or health condition affect your ability to do things on a daily basis in the rest of this questionnaire. What are your disabilities or health conditions? Okay. How do they affect you? Yes, on a day-to-day basis. Do you think any of your conditions are linked to drugs or alcohol? Do you have any aids that you use, such as a wheelchair, hearing aid, or anything else? And what is that? Okay. Next question. What tablets, liquids, inhalers, or other medication are you taking, and are there any side effects? That's fine if you don't know the name. Do you have your prescription anywhere to hand? Okay, you could send us a copy of your prescription with your form when you send it back with your signature on it. You could send us a copy of your prescription. I'll have your medication on there, okay? Yeah, that's fine. No problem at all. So, The next section is hospital, clinic, or special treatment like dialysis or rehabilitation treatment. So this is about any hospital or clinic treatment you're having, hospital or clinic treatment you expect to have in the near future, special treatment you are having such as dialysis or rehabilitation treatment, and also tell us about any special treatment you have which you may not have gone to a hospital or a clinic for. Okay, so what hospital, clinic, or special treatments are you getting? For example, the treatment you're having, where you get it, and how often. Okay, so the treatment you're having is, and where you get it, and how often do you get that treatment? Okay, fab. If you're expecting to have treatment in the near future, do you know what the treatment will be and the date it is due to start? Perfect. So, are you having or waiting for any treatment which needs you to stay somewhere overnight or longer? Yeah, okay. And can you tell me what that treatment is? No, that's fine. The more information is better. Okay. And is that in the same hospital? Okay, perfect. Are you in or due to start a residential rehabilitation scheme? Okay. We can go on to the next part. So this section is how your conditions affect you. Okay, so physical health problems. Only answer yes to the following questions if you can do the activity safely to an acceptable standard, as often as you need, and in a reasonable length of time. Okay. Moving around and using steps. By moving, we mean including the use of aids you usually use, such as a manual wheelchair, crutches, or a walking stick, but without the help of another person. Okay? Can you move around and use steps without difficulty? How far can you move safely and repeatedly on ground level without you needing to stop? So we've got 50 metres. This is about the length of 5 double-decker buses, or twice the length of an average public swimming pool. 100 metres. This is about the length of a football pitch. 200 metres or more, or it varies. Yeah, so it's 50 metres, the length of 5 double-decker buses. 100 metres, the length of a... Yeah, that's fine. No worries at all. So, tell us how far you can move and why you might have to stop. If you usually use a walking stick, crutches, a wheelchair, or anything else to help you, tell us how it affects the way you move around. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I can start like another paragraph. Okay. Can you go up or down 2 steps without help from another person if there is a rail to hold on to? And the options here are no, it varies, oh yes. Okay, perfect. Let's have a little sip. So, sitting and standing. Can you stand and sit without difficulty? Can you move from one seat to another right next to it without help from someone else? No, yes, or it varies. While you are standing or sitting, or a combination of the two, how long can you stay in one place without the help of another person? Less than 30 minutes, 30 minutes to an hour, more than 1 hour, or it varies. If you have problems with standing and sitting, tell us more about it. Tell us why this might be difficult for you and how this affects your typical day. Please include how long you can sit for, how long you can stand for, and what it might make standing and sitting difficult to you. Yeah, it was quite long. So, you have problems with standing or sitting. So, how long can you sit for? Yeah, that's fine. Okay. How long can you stand for? Yep. What might make sitting and standing difficult for you? That's fine. Perfect. So, reaching. Can you reach up with either of your arms without difficulty? Can you lift at least one of your arms high enough to put something in the top pocket of a coat jacket while you're wearing it? No, yes, or it varies. Can you lift one of your arms above your head? No, yes, or it varies. Okay. Can you tell us why you might not be able to reach up and if it affects both arms? Okay, that's perfect. Picking up and moving things using your upper body and either arm. Can you pick things up from waist height and move them without difficulty? Can you pick up and move a ½ litre, 1 pint, carton full of liquid from waist height using your upper body and either arm? Yes, no, or it varies. Okay. Can you pick up and move a litre, 2 pint, carton full of liquid from waist height using your upper body and either arm? Yes, no, it varies. Can you pick up and move a large light object like an empty cardboard box, for example, from one surface to another at waist height? Yes, no, it varies. Okay. So, as you've answered it varies, could you tell us more about picking things up and moving them and why you might not be able to pick things up? Okay, perfect. So, on to manual dexterity, using your hands. Can you use your hands without any difficulty? Can you use either hand to press a button, such as a telephone keypad, turn the pages of a book, pick up a £1 coin, use a pen or pencil, or use a suitable keyboard mouse? Some of these things, none of these things, or it varies. So, as you'd answered some of these things, tell us which of these things you have problems with and why. If it varies, tell us how. So, would you like me to go through that list again, and then you can tell me yes or no for these, for the options? That's fine. So, the first one is to press a button such as a telephone keypad. That's fine. Turn the pages of a book. Pick up a £1 coin. Use a pen or pencil. Or use a suitable keyboard or mouse. Okay, perfect. So, communicating, speaking, writing, and typing. By communicating, you mean being able to speak, write, or type clearly and be understood by others in your own language. This section asks about how you can communicate with other people. I'm struggling to communicate here. I need a little sip. So, can you communicate with other people without any difficulty? Okay. Can you communicate a simple message to other people, such as the presence of something dangerous? This can be by speaking, writing, typing, or any other means, but without the help of another person. Yes, no, it varies. Okay, so as you've answered, it varies. Could you tell us how you communicate and why you might not be able to communicate with other people? For example, difficulties with speech, writing, or typing. Okay, lovely. So, communicating, hearing, and reading. This section asks about your ability to hear other people and read printed information. Can you understand other people without any difficulty? Can you understand simple messages from other people by hearing or lip reading without the help of another person? Yes, no, it varies. Can you understand simple messages from other people by reading large print or using braille? Yes, no, it varies. Okay. As you have answered, it varies. Could you tell us more about if you need to communicate in another way or use aids such as a hearing aid? Okay, lovely. So, this section is about getting around safely. This section asks about problems with your vision. If you normally use glasses or contact lenses, a guide dog, or any other aid, tell us how you manage when you are using them. Please also tell us how well you see in daylight or bright electric light. This section is not related to any problems you have getting around because of your mental health. So, can you get around safely on your own? Can you see to cross the road safely on your own? Can you safely get around a place that you have not been before without any help? As you've answered, it varies. Could you tell us about your eyesight and any problems you have finding your way around safely? Okay. Controlling your bowels and bladder and using a collecting device. Collecting devices include stoma bags and catheters. Can you control your bowels and bladder without any difficulty? Do you have to wash or change your clothes because of difficulty controlling your bladder, bowels, or collecting device? The options we have here are no, yes, weekly, yes, monthly, yes, less than a month, yes, but only if I cannot reach a toilet quickly. Okay. Tell us about controlling your bowels and bladder or managing your collecting device, and if you experience problems if you cannot reach a toilet quickly. Tell us how often you need to wash or change your clothes because of difficulty controlling your bladder, bowels, or collecting device. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Staying conscious when awake. By staying conscious, we do not mean falling asleep just because you are tired. Do you have any problems staying conscious while awake? While you are awake, how often do you faint or have fits or blackouts? Daily, weekly, monthly, less than a month. Tell us more about your fainting, fits, or blackouts. Okay. Only answer yes to the following questions if you can do the activity safely, to an acceptable standard, as often as you need to, and in a reasonable length of time. So, learning how to do tasks. Can you learn to do everyday tasks without difficulty? Can you learn to do an everyday task such as setting an alarm on a clock or smartphone? Can you learn how to do a more complicated task such as using a washing machine? As you've answered, it varies. Tell us about any difficulties you have learning to do tasks and why you find it difficult. Okay. Awareness of hazards or danger. Can you stay safe when doing everyday tasks such as boiling water or using sharp objects? Do you need someone to stay with you most of the time for you to stay safe? Yes, no, it varies. And can you tell me more about how you cope with danger and what problems you have doing things safely? Okay. Starting and finishing tasks. This is about whether you can manage to start and complete daily routines and tasks like cooking a meal or going shopping. Can you manage to do daily tasks without difficulty? Can you manage to plan, start, and finish daily tasks? Tell us about what difficulties you have doing your daily routines. For example, remembering to do things, planning and organising how to do them, and concentrating to finish them. Tell us what might make it difficult for you and how often you might need other people to help you. If it varies, let us know. Okay. Coping with changes. Can you cope to changes with your daily routine? Can you cope with small changes to your routine if you know about them before they happen? For example, things like having a meal earlier or later than usual, or an appointment time being changed. Yes, no, it varies. Can you cope with small changes to your routine if they are unexpected? This means things like your bus or train is not running on time, or a friend or carer coming to your house earlier or later than planned. So, as you've answered, it varies. Could you tell me more about how you cope with change? Explain your problems and give examples if you can. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So, going out. This question is about your ability to cope mentally or emotionally with going out. If you have physical problems, which means you cannot go out, you should tell us about them in the physical health problems section. So, can you go out on your own? Can you leave home and go out to places you know? No, yes. Yes, if someone goes with me, or it varies. Okay. Can you leave home and go to places you do not know? No, yes. Yes, if someone goes with me, it varies. Okay, and as you've answered it varies, could you tell us why you cannot always go to places and if you need someone to go with you? Explain your problems and give examples if you can. Okay. Coping with social situations. By social situations, we mean things like meeting new people, going to meetings or appointments. Can you cope with social situations without feeling too anxious or scared? Can you meet people you know without feeling too anxious or scared? Can you meet people you do not know without feeling too anxious or scared? Okay, and as you have answered it varies, could you tell us why you find it distressing to meet other people? What makes it difficult and how often you feel like this? Explain your problems and give examples if you can. Okay, so behaving appropriately. This section asks about whether your behaviour upsets other people. By this, we do not mean minor arguments between couples. Please tick this box if your behaviour does not upset other people. Okay, how often do you behave in a way which upsets other people? For example, this might be because your disability or health condition results in you being aggressively or acting in an unusual way. Every day, frequently, occasionally, or it varies. Tell us or provide examples of how your behaviour upsets other people and how often this happens. Explain your problems and give examples if you can. If it varies, tell us how. Yeah, how? Explain your problems and give examples. Yes, that's fine. Eating or drinking. Only answer yes to the following questions if you can do the activity safely to an acceptable standard, as often as you need to, and in a reasonable length of time. Can you get food or drink to your mouth without help or being prompted by another person? Okay. Can you chew and swallow food or drink without help or being prompted by another person? Could you tell us how you eat or drink and why you might need help? Okay. So, this section here is just talking about the assessment. You may be asked to an assessment with a qualified healthcare professional. This may take place over the telephone, face-to-face, or by video link. If this is required, they will send you a letter with details of your appointment and a leaflet that explains what will happen. So I have a little form here, a little box here. So you can tell me any other information to tell us any dates and times in the next 3 months that you're not available for. Okay, so within the next 3 months. So we've got, yeah, just anything that you don't want to cancel, basically. So the 12th. No, I don't need the reasons. No, that's fine. You just tell me which dates you can't come. Okay. Is there any days that you are, like, for instance, every Monday, you wouldn't be able to do a Monday? That's fine, okay, no problem at all. And if you do have to come for an assessment, do you have any requirements for attending the assessment? For example, a step-free assessment centre, or you need an interpreter? Okay. Okay, perfect. If there's any other information that you would like me to pop in this box, and if you would like your carers or your friends to add any information, I will also send you a copy of this box in your form that will be sent to your house when you sign at the end, okay? So, do I need to read any of this bit to you? No, I can highlight on your form when it's sent to you where you need to sign. So there's a little box here to agree that your doctor is informed about the result of this assessment. And there's, right, we're at the end now, so I'll just read the declaration to you and then I'll let you know what happens next. So, I declare I have read and understood the notes at the front of this form. The information I have given on this form is correct and complete. I understand that I must report all changes in my circumstances which may affect my entitlement promptly, and by failing to do so, I may be liable for prosecution and face a financial penalty. I will phone this number or write to the office that pays my benefit to report any change in my circumstances. If I give false or incomplete information or fail to report changes in my circumstances promptly, I understand that my employment and support allowance may be stopped or reduced, and any overpayment may be recovered. In addition, I may be prosecuted or face a financial penalty. I also understand that the department may use the information which it has now or may get in the future to decide whether I am entitled to the benefit I am claiming, any other benefit I have claimed, any other benefit I may claim in the future. You must sign this form yourself if you can, even if someone else has filled it in for you. So that is the form done. I will be sending it to your address. I will highlight where you need to sign, and also I will stick little post-it notes on the pages for you so you can find them easier. Okay, so I'll just read this little bit of what to do now, then we can wrap it up. So to make sure we have all the information, we need to please make sure that you have answered all the questions in this questionnaire that apply to you, which we have done together. I've signed and dated the questionnaire. I'll date it for you, but you can sign it when you get it. Send back the questionnaire by the date we have asked you to in the enclosed letter. Send back the completed questionnaire using the enclosed envelope. It does not need a stamp. Do not send it or take it to your Job Centre Plus office. So yeah, it will come with a envelope, so you just pop it in the envelope and pop it in a post box, okay? It's as simple as that. have provided any additional evidence or information that you feel will help us to understand how your disability or health condition affects you, how you can do things on a daily basis. Okay. So do we need to send any other information? They might ask for this information after you complete the assessment, after you send back the form, sorry. So you don't need to get any of your documents ready just yet. But they sometimes do write back and say that they want to see test results or prescriptions and bits and bobs. Okay, so there we are, that's all done now. Let's see. Yep, right, okay then. That's everything. Thank you so much. And I'll get that form sent out for you. I should be able to get it sent today, actually. Yes, I've got a bit of time later. So it was lovely speaking to you. And if you have any questions at all, please give me a call. But other than that, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And thank you so much. Bye bye. There we are. Oh, let's see.